Hi, I'm Kim Fee and I'm here with the third video in the series this week. I'm sharing an interview I did with my silver titled demonstrator, Leslie Gillett, about the reasons why she didn't recruit and the fears that she had when she first started recruiting. We also cover what has changed and what Leslie is doing to overcome her fears. We have done a question and answer series, and I will lead on to Leslie's answers from my questions. And my first question was to Leslie: what led you to signing up? Leslie's reply was, like a lot of people, I joined SU for the discount and maybe sell a few bits to friends. I asked, how did you take the next step, Leslie? Leslie replied, I gradually gained the confidence to start classes by attending a few training sessions and joining various online groups. I started with just a couple of friends and realised that by just providing the time and the space to craft and sharing my enthusiasms for the products, my classes grew. This was the first step in gaining confidence by doing something I never thought I could do and recognising I had nothing to lose. I then asked Leslie, how did you feel about recruiting? And Leslie told me, I was worried about losing sales if I recruited my customers, nervous of appearing pushy and putting people off. It's a bit like being in a shop where the assistant won't leave you alone, which I hate. But on the other hand, it's nice if they at least offer help. So what changed, Leslie? Leslie replied, I found that all I had to do was to mention it whenever it felt appropriate, and the more I did, the more natural I felt, and the easier it became. I recruited some of my best customers, and I was nervous about that, but it drove me to find new customers. At the same time, my confidence and my business were growing, and I discovered that I could still benefit from rewards from my other customers. It didn't affect my sales that much. I was only losing that customer sales for a short period. I was building a different, stronger relationship with them, and I was pleased that they could benefit from the discount like I did. I now know I'm doing my customers a disservice if I don't tell them about the offers. I have heard some people change demonstrators if they're not told. I have built relationships with people, got to know them, and so was fairly confident that if they dropped, they would come back to me as a customer. The more I recruited, the more fun I had, as it led to more opportunities to craft and share what I love about Stampin' Up. I asked Leslie, do you do training? And Leslie replied, I started play days as I didn't feel confident or good enough to have actual training days. We would meet and share, make and takes and discuss products, but I found I wasn't actually helping my business. I now focus on training as I need to spend what little time I have on helping team members who wanted to do more than just get the discount. It's not what I would call formal training. We just discuss their situation and I share anything I've learned, or I can just point them in the right direction. Hopefully, giving them confidence to grow and try new things. I also give time to hobbyists and all my customers, which I find rewarding as well as beneficial. I learn from them all, which in turn helps me to help others. I enjoy working on a one-to-one basis as I find this works for me. I like to spend time with them, giving them the opportunity to discuss any issues and encouraging them to try new things. I also try to give practical help. For example, providing paper copies of info and offers. For those who struggle with computers, samples for displays at their meetings, advertising their classes or events, and suggesting projects for customers. All my downline are special, but I have a couple of examples that may help others. One of my downline runs a craft club, has done for some years now. As yet does not have the confidence to do classes. But just by mentioning the kit offer, she has recruited a number of members. They don't all join at the same time, so any loss in sales is spread over time and offset by sales. We have some meetings and now taken some simple steps to increase her sales, and she may well promote to silver. Another one of my downline has plucked up the courage to start classes and is now really enjoying them, but has found it hard to recruit because of the usual reluctance to lose sales and shyness in promoting the kit, which are common barriers for us all. We are working on ways to help her confidence by having a display board, learning to mention it whenever possible, and some training on the compensation scheme, which, like me, had not been given much attention. We had felt it irrelevant, not making much difference, financially insignificant or unobtainable. So helping her has helped me to learn and focus. I was surprised and delighted to reach silver by a combination of recruiting and sales. It gave me a sense of achievement, attaining something I never imagined, but it also got me looking at the compensation plan and the reports more. I was getting credits into my bank account, so I started to check the targets and to see what I needed to do to increase my income and make the most of the rewards that Stampin Up give. So Leslie, I asked, how has your confidence changed since your promotion? And Leslie's reply is, last year I tried hard to increase sales to obtain Silver Elite, as I already qualified with the recruits, but it seemed too hard a target to reach, and therefore I didn't believe it attainable. Sometimes it's difficult to remain positive and easy to feel burnt out. I have customers who regularly say they can't afford it anymore. Oh, I can get it cheaper elsewhere. Oh, I have so much stuff already, etc. I'm sure you've heard all of those. So I have been reluctant to try product-based classes, fearing rejection and assuming that they would say no. However, I was going away on a small holiday and I wanted to simplify my classes that month to make it easier for myself. I decided I had nothing to lose. I would just not hold a class that month if it went down like a lead balloon. I was shaking inside, but I put my best smile on and my enthusiastic voice, and I presented them with a craft retreat day, whereby they buy one of the card kits from the catalogue and come for the day. I provide refreshments, etc. Nearly all of them were delighted. One was disappointed, and that was because she was on holiday, and two had medical appointments. It proved to me again that we should never assume anything. We should never assume that they wouldn't want to come to a product-based class or that they wouldn't want to come and craft with us. By providing what they wanted and the time and space to craft, I have increased my sales and I will be nearer my goal. So I asked Leslie, do you think it's necessary to do classes when you become a demo? And she replied, I do classes because I enjoy them. I love sharing what I've learnt from others, using products that I love. It doesn't have to be clever. It doesn't even have to be good enough. Most just enjoy being there. I would say give it a go. It may not work straight away, but concentrate on sharing what you love and having fun, and hopefully you'll be as surprised as I was. With that in mind, I asked Leslie, what about training? Leslie replied, I don't do formal training. I prefer face-to-face, either in a small group or a one-to-one, listening to what they need and providing what help I can, where I can. I have a couple of downline who are not local, but we keep in touch, mainly by email, and that seems to work well. Some recruits need or want no help at all, so it tends to balance itself out, with the time pressures we are all under. I can also attend sessions held by my upline and encourage recruits to do so. I live in a very rural area, so attending events can be difficult, but it's always worth making that extra effort. I asked Leslie, have you thought about doing videos? And Leslie replied, I don't even like my picture being taken, so the thought of doing videos just fills me with horror. But I will one day have the confidence, as I do find that it's amazing what we can do if we just try. I struggle with technology, but do what I can one step at a time. I think it's important to be yourself and do what you can manage. There's a lot of help out there from upline, from fellow demos and from Stampin' Up. I will probably adapt as the need arises. If I'm struggling to cope with something, that's normally the time I try something new to relieve the pressure. I do what I can when I can, and if in doubt, I ask. So I asked Leslie, what does she see as the next step for her? And she replied, I feel confident in reaching recruiting goals now, and I feel excited and determined to attain Silver Elite so that I can attend centre stage with my upline and the other lovely demonstrators so that I can learn more about Stampin' Up and get the extra rewards I have seen and heard about. I can then share my experience with my recruits and help them to join me. Well, I thank you, Leslie Gillett, for having an interview with myself. I know it was hard for you, and I hope that you ladies out there will take some tips from what Leslie has given us, and for you to help with your recruiting and with your goals with Stampin' Up. Thank you for listening. Bye.